Hey everyone, this video will be a little bit longer, and it's just talking about the reflecting on, the roller coaster that has been the past few weeks or so. I guess it was very jarring, I would say, to kind of go through, one day, thinking and planning, decades ahead and thinking, you have all the time left in the world. And then, going from that to thinking in terms of, 6 to 12 months and, having to go into fight, flight, or survival mode and then, getting good news that where we can think more in years rather than in months, and what that means. I think when you have a lot of time, there's a lot of room for error and correcting, and a lot of goals and ambitions and that exist, and when that window all of a sudden shrinks to 6 to 12 months, it's basically just survival mode. There's no thinking about the future. There's no thinking about, what you want to be when you grow up, or, what's the meaning of it all. It's really just, what do I need to do to beat this and stay alive? Which is comforting in a way because it drives certainty about what your priorities are, what you want to get today, because you're thinking one day at a time, and everything you do and think and is to fight against this disease. And then then I got the news that it's a less aggressive form of cancer, and all of a sudden I'm going from adrenaline fueled firefighting every day and with absolute certainty and clarity to, oh, there's actually some time now. Okay, that's great. It's positive. It's better than the prognosis the day before, but it really threw me for a loop for at least a couple days, because then it's kind of like I have to reframe my mindset again in terms of what is the priority again. So it's kind of like you're grieving the loss of what you could achieve in decades. You're losing the certainty of firefighting every day at going at like 300 miles an hour. And then all of a sudden you're thinking about, okay, if I had 3 years left to live, how can I best live them? And just having that mind jump from one to the other is just a very jarring and very difficult emotional roller coaster to be riding on. I've learned that I've become the type of person that needs to have a plan, and if I don't have a plan or a strategy in place, it can give me anxiety a bit, and so that's partially what's made it pretty difficult to kind of jump from one to the other. And I was literally getting a lot of anxiety around, okay, it's great news, I'm really happy about it, but the next 3 years I need to figure out what I'm going to do, what I'm going to become. If I'm going to prioritize my family, how do I do it? If I'm going to prioritize my health and well-being, how am I going to do it? If I'm going to do things differently, how am I going to do it? And I need to have a plan in place. And I think ultimately, once I settled down, it was really like, do I? Do I need to have everything figured out? Do I need to have a high level strategy to live out a life? And, I think I've come to the point where I'm just thinking, look, I know what I need to do. Longer term, I know what my goals are. And I just got to take it one day at a time. And whatever that means. And with that, kind of a little bit of, leaving it to God and being able to live with some uncertainty, or not needing to have as much certainty as I did in the past. It's very liberating. I don't need to have all the answers. I don't need to have the perfect strategy to maximize every ounce of everything that I can. I just need to live life. And I need to focus on the things that I think that are important. And, for a long time, my identity was wrapped around just being a provider and, being the best provider that I could or that I can for my family. And, at the expense of other things, at the expense of actually spending more time with them, at the expense of, my health. And, those are things that have kind of reshifted and reprioritized several times in the last couple of weeks. And, I know that I want to be a better father. I know I want to live a healthier life. I'm still a provider. That's still part of my identity, but it's not the only part. Before, I thought that, being a provider is really what made me valuable to my family. And, going through this, talking about what unconditional love means and what family actually means, it's not transactional. I mean, I can do better or worse at it, but at the end of the day, I'm still a father. I'm still a husband. I'm still a son. And to the varying degrees that I can be a great provider, great. But I think in terms of prioritization, I lost a little bit of the human element in building connection and, really connecting and being close to family in meaningful ways, which, is something I'll look to change in the future. But, I know I haven't been living the way that I should be, and I don't think I'll ever go back to how I was before. And going forward, I'll look to take this experience to become a better man for my family, for myself, for my son, for my legacy. So thank you very much for listening. I just wanted to, share a bit of this reflection and, kind of what I've been going through mentally and emotionally. But still fighting, still staying strong. Thanks for listening. Talk to you later.